Hey guys, right, so we are live here today for our Netready Facebook Live event. Thank you so much for dedicating your time to us here at Netready. Each week we're creating informative content within the multi-level marketing space and distributing across all of our social media channels. Thank you once again for dedicating this time. I'm sitting here with none other than Mr. Richard Sletcher. Richard, how are you going?
Nice to see you, Stuart.
Yet again.
These
I didn't
weeks
introduce
just
myself.
fly by.
I didn't introduce myself.
Everybody knows you.
Okay, all right. Okay, by
everybody.
now they will.
Yes.
Okay.
But in case you don't know, this is the incredible, the amazing, the phenomenal Stuart Calder. He's our VP of Sales and Marketing, and he does an absolutely awesome job here at Netready.
From now on, that's what we should do. You should just introduce me. I mean, how cool is that?
Exactly right.
I'm the host, but I'm just asking you to just please introduce me.
For sure. From now on, that's the deal, right?
Netready is revolutionizing interviews. I mean, how cool. Richard, today we are going to speak about communication within multi-level marketing businesses. Okay. Now, communication in my household is a much discussed topic. Stu. Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Are you married to a lady?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Okay, so there we go. Stu, you're not communicating enough. Work on communication. Communication between partners is paramount.
Oh.
I agree.
Yes.
And in the multi-level marketing, even traditional business, communication is key. If it's top-down, if it's cross, wherever it is, communication needs to be happening for things to happen within a successful business.
Yeah.
Right? So let's dive into communication within the multi-level marketing industry.
Yes, and I mean, there's nothing more important than this, because remember, this is a business of people.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in traditional retail, your communication medium is advertising.
Right.
Okay? Sorry, excuse me. So, and that's your only real method. You're communicating with your packaging and your design of your business, and you're communicating through advertising. In the multi-level marketing space, it's about people.
Yeah.
Your business is only strong as your people.
Right.
And so the communication is all person to person. You know, I bring you into the business, bet I have some very key communication to get you in, bet I have some key communication to keep you in and keep you interested. And so communication becomes critical in our space, much more critical than almost in any other business form out there.
Sure, yeah. And communication also comes in the various forms.
Yeah.
You know, it's reporting, it's daily interactions, it's all of those kinds of things. That's actually what I want to get into as the first point of call here, is the various ways in which communication feeds into multi-level marketing and the different aspects within these businesses. So the first one I want to touch on, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to highlight a couple and then we can speak about that. Is it okay?
Yeah, fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
First one I want to speak about is the belly-to-belly communication.
Yes.
Okay, so what kind of communication needs to happen there and how does it happen?
Well, look, in our space, this is all about relationship building. So, I mean, it's very much like you were talking about between you and your wife. In order to have a successful marriage, you have to build the relationship. And it takes time. It's not something you do overnight. With our space as well, you sponsor somebody into the business. If you want to be successful, you have to learn how to develop that relationship to become more than just, oh, I sponsored you in, throw mud against the wall, see what sticks. This is all about actually building a relationship with that person and sharing in their ups and their downs. When things are going well, you need to be celebrating that with them. When things are going to be going badly, you need to be empathizing with them. If things are going really badly, you need to be out in the field with them, showing them how it's done. So the communication is really about building relationships.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, that's a difficult thing to do. So, you know, I recommend highly getting books on the subject. If you're in the MLM space and you're wanting to actually build a successful business, I would read things like Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Fantastic book, and it explains to you exactly how to interact with people in such a way that they actually enjoy your company. There's another book, I can't remember who the author is, it's called The Like Switch.
Okay.
Phenomenal book on communication. And I would recommend every MLM in the world, from the company owners right the way down, read The Like Switch. Because again, it gives you the psychology behind relationships and how to actually interact with people in such a way that they enjoy the interaction. Because for many people, they're interacting, but one of the parties not having a good time. You know, so the issue is to really actually develop that skill. Now, for somebody like you just are naturally like that. I mean, everybody loves you.
Thank you.
But there are many people in this world that don't have that natural ability, and that is a skill they need to develop. So if you're a company owner and you're looking at your network, I'm saying to you, listen, make sure you guys are reading books like The Like Switch. Make sure that you are doing seminars on how to be likable and how to communicate with people effectively and how to get them to enjoy your presence and how to build relationships. Because that belly-to-belly thing, that is, you'll see the guys who are super successful, they've surrounded themselves with people who love them. The people talk about their leadership they praise them. They want to be in their space. They bask in the sunshine of that person's presence. And so the most successful people in this industry are not the loud salespeople with the big, the car salespeople, as we call them. They're not those guys. It's the people who nurture and care for their team and who form those bonds and those relationships that normally last way beyond the business. You know, there's people, I mean, we've got on our website, we've got an interview with a girl called Gail Reynolds.
Yes.
Now, she's making £6 million a year out of Avon.
Sure.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah? And the reason she's that successful is because she's gone out and she's built relationships, powerful, long-lasting relationships with a lot of people. And so that's the success. So that communication there is something that needs to be developed. And those relationships need to be nurtured, and that's all about communication. You can't develop a relationship without it.
That's why we find that the people that are so successful in the top of the network are that of people, mostly females, 82% of the network, but those teachers and nurses, someone with a caring nature, are sitting at the top of the network. And I mean, it comes out in the stats.
Yes. Yeah.
Those two books that you mentioned, I'd actually like to post this, just put it on this Facebook live event, just so everyone listening can have access to it. So that was just a side note.
Well, the Dale Carnegie book's about 100 years old. I mean, it's been around for donkey's years, and I think it's a must-read.
Yes.
The Like Switch is a much newer book. And that was written by a guy who was I think he was in the CIA. And his whole thing is he worked out the psychology of how to get people to like him. And he did it because at the time he was trying to get information out of people who'd been arrested. But those principles work extremely well because he actually figured out what you need to do to be liked. And I mean, who doesn't want to be liked?
Everyone on this planet.
Exactly. And so there's a skill behind that. Some people just have it naturally. Some people it's naturally in them. Some people, others need to actually learn that skill. And I think, again, a vital, valuable skill to know.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's look at belly to belly. This is everything you've just mentioned there. So the communication between the two, we have to know there has to be a fair value exchange. Both parties need to actually go, well, I walk away from this knowing that I'm feeling good. That was a good interaction that I've just had with my sponsor or my customer or whatever it is. So that communication needs to be on point, and you need to teach that as a company owner or the leadership. You need to be teaching that to your people so that when they have those interactions, that it becomes off as meaningful and offers good value to both parties.
And one of the key things in that relationship is accountability. Because if nobody's accountable, you don't have a relationship. I mean, you and your wife are accountable to each other.
Right.
You know, there's a level of accountability. And so one of the things that we do with our clients is we say to them, listen, get your people to sign a pledge with their new sponsors, so with their sponsored people.
Yes.
So I bring you into the business, and I make a pledge to you. And the reason I'm making a pledge to you is not because I want to make a pledge to you, is because I want to be accountable to you. So I promise I will teach you the systems. I will teach you how to recruit people. I will teach you how to sell the product. I will teach you how the compensation plan works. And I will go out with you and help you recruit your first few people. I promise to do that to you.
Right.
Okay? Now there's an accountability, because if I don't do it, You say to me, but you promised you would do it. There's a level of accountability.
Right. Yeah.
Vice versa, I get you to promise to me. I say to you, listen, why don't you promise to learn how the system works? I want to show you, but you need to obviously go through it and work on it and understand it. You promise to learn how the compensation plan works so that we can help you make as much money as possible. You promise to find people for us to go and see to sell the product. You promise to find people who are potentially going to join the business. So you make your pledges to me and I make my pledges to you. Now we are accountable to each other. And so that starts the relationship on a sound footing. In marriage, you stand up in front of the preacher and you say, until death do us part, through thick and thin, sickness and health. Even if this guy gets ugly, grows a wart on his nose, I'm still going to love him.
Yeah.
You create some level of accountability there.
You do.
And if you guys, as a husband and wife, stick to that accountability, then you have an amazing relationship.
Sure.
You know, so the same thing. I mean, I know that I'm bringing it back to marriage, but it is actually very similar, because when I bring you into the business, I'm saying to you, come and be my person, and I'm going to help you succeed. And you say to me, if you help me succeed, I will help you by learning everything you can teach me. And now we're accountable to each other. We've created that bond. And then I need to follow through on what I've promised. What happens all too often is I sign you up, and then I sign him up, and sign him up, and sign him up.
Right.
And I'm just going out there, and I'm in salesman mode. And then 3/4, 9/10 of my people just disappear. And then there's this one person who's self-motivated, who does it in spite of me, not because of me.
Right.
Whereas I'd be much better off finding a few people and really working with them, learning myself in the process, helping them learn in the process, growing. The next person I bring on, I know more and I can help them even better, and so on and so forth, and I build my business that way.
In that instance, it's actually a complete waste of time to just be a salesman, put in as many people into your network and your downline as possible, rather than focus your time and efforts on nurturing a smaller, more solid, compact team that are actually going to perform and stay in the business for a long period of time.
Absolutely. So that's what you need to teach your network.
Right.
So every single one of your network members needs to understand that level of accountability and what they need to do. Now, if you're launching a company, then generally what you're doing when you launch is you're looking for people who understand the multi-level marketing business, who understand how to build networks, who understand how to nurture relationships.
Right.
You know, it's very difficult to build a business from the ground up without finding those kind of good people out the blocks.
Yeah.
But once the business is going, then it's all about interpersonal relationships and connections.
Yeah.
And then you've got to have those people, training your people on how to do this in an interpersonal way, in a positive way, to create those relationships and to build those and nurture those bonds.
Yeah. So you're managing accountability and expectation through communication.
Expectation, yeah. I expect you to do this, you expect me to do this, and we're accountable.
Yeah. That's a powerful... you can quote me if you want.
Thank you.
Stu Calder. Oh, okay. Sorry, Richard Sletcher. There we go. You can have that one.
Thank you.
You did tell me. I just, you know. Okay, so that's a... Sorry, side note. Last week I said that I was going to pour you coffee. There's your coffee.
Thank you. I'm glad you remembered.
I did,
because I was worried about it.
I know.
Have you noticed how quickly these weeks just absolutely flow into each other?
It's crazy.
I feel like I haven't left this room.
Oh.
To be honest, it's like you're trapped in this, you know, just Tuesdays just roll around one after the other. It's been amazing. Anyway.
Well, I want to point out that you are wearing the same shirt that you wore last week, and maybe this is becoming your...
This is my new uniform.
Yes. And... I mean, I like the white top, but it's you know, it's neither here nor there.
I think we better go back to white top Tuesdays again.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. The other thing is events.
Yes.
Communication through events, things like conventions, seminars, get-togethers, those type of events. What sort of communication needs to happen there? The structure thereof, and what actually needs to be communicated.
Well, look, the thing with events is that again, they need to be deliberate.
Yeah.
You mustn't shoot from the hip on these things. It's got to be planned. Every single part of that event needs to be thought out. You know, when the music plays, if the music plays, who comes onto the stage, who's you compare for the evening, when are you going to do recognitions, when are you going to launch your incentives? All of this must be thought through. Okay? And then from the stage, what you do is you communicate all of the messaging that you're wanting from the company to the network. And things that you might do is you might recognize top performers. And there's an involvement there, okay? So I might say, okay, everybody who signed up, 2 people in a single month, please walk up to the front of the stage and walk across the stage here. And the rest of you, I want you to stand up and give these people a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Okay? So now what are we communicating there? We're communicating the success of the people who've signed up too.
Right.
We're also recognizing them for signing up too. But what's much more important is we're showing everybody in the audience what they need to do to get a standing ovation. And how many times in your life have you received a standing ovation?
Not many.
Not many.
Probably once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the issue is that is something rare. And now everybody sitting in the audience, what you've communicated with them is, hey, listen, sign up 2 people. The next time we have one of these conventions, you get to walk across the stage. Everybody else gets to cheer and shout and scream and rave.
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah.
So again, we're running this new incentive. We've got this incredible trip to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Part of the communication of that is this big video that you put up on the screen, which shows the hotel you're going to go to and the ship you're going to sail there on and the food you're going to eat and the fun that you're going to have on the beach. That's all part of the communication. And if you're announcing an incredible incentive, you better have an exceptional back-end videos and communications to accentuate this amazing opportunity.
Yeah.
If you just stand up at the top and say, okay, we're going to Hawaii next, guys, go out and get yourself some points, and the person with the most points goes to Hawaii, well, where's that? Are you excited about that? No.
No, not at all.
And so those communications, forms a very big part of your communication.
Yeah.
So it's your videos, it's your videos that you put on your site. So once you've launched it, you might have a video on the rules. Where you build the guys up and psych them up and show them how easy the rules are. This is all you have to do is this and this and this.
Yeah.
You have to just sign up a few people, get them, whatever the rules are, that becomes part of the communication.
Right.
And then, of course, I don't know if we want to talk about incentives now, but the communication around that becomes critical.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Let's talk about video content, because right now video content is king. People consume video content 16 times more than they do any written content.
Is that a fact?
That's a fact.
Good heavens.
16 times more. So creating video content is one thing. Building strategy behind what you want to communicate in that video content is a completely different ballgame. So we need to know what are we trying to communicate in those videos, and then how are we trying to communicate it. The how is because we're gonna put together these beautiful videos, and where are they going to be displayed?
Exactly.
Okay, so video content is absolute king, and anyone listening now, we need to know that they need to understand that your people consume it so much faster. It's communication that is consumed so much faster than sending out an email or an SMS.
And the beauty of video content today is that you can create breakpoints in your video, and so that people can jump to the next topic.
Yeah.
And so even though you might have a long video, you can give people mechanisms to jump to the next topic. And at 4 minutes, you've got this, and at 7 minutes, you've got that. And you can actually put in a system like YouTube,
yes,
you can put the links below and allow people to jump to the topic that they're interested in. So there definitely is some technology that's making video content a lot more, or let me say, a lot easier to consume.
Yes, and user-friendly.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
And Stuart, I just want to bring this up. That's why we've got the studio.
Yeah.
I know that the guys out there can't see the studio at the moment, but we've got a backdrop here. We've got proper professional lighting up. We've got teleprompters, video cameras. And what we do for our clients is we provide them with a incredibly cheap mechanism, or a cheap system, or cheap facility to get highly professional finished product. We've got super professional gear. And the reason being is that video is king. People, as you say, people do consume the video. And so that's the reason we put this together. We wanted a studio to help our clients actually get that video content without having to pay the ridiculously exorbitant prices that are charged by the companies out there. It becomes
Sure.
unaffordable for most companies.
Yeah. Well, if you just take our launch clients, we've got our launch strategy, and built into that strategy is a series of videos that we need to put together on presenting the business opportunity, going through our whole application and voting process.
Yeah.
Reading that, I will fall asleep. Watching that, I will understand.
Especially if you cut good B-roll stuff into it.
Yes.
So if you're talking about a holiday, show the holiday destination.
Right.
If you're talking about the product, show the product. You know, if you're talking about your systems, you can do screenshots of the systems. You can put a lot of B-roll in to keep people interested in what's going on in your communication. And I think that your videos you need to take care with them.
Yeah.
They need to be professional. They need to be excellent, because people will act. It's even the sound on the videos. If the sound is not great, people pick it up instantly. So I think that's an area that requires focus, and it's a big part of communication.
Right. Another very big part of this leads us into the next topic of communication is our brand communication. Okay. Now,
well, that's more of an area that you're a specialist in. So
the let's call it, if you're a traditional business and you go into retail, it's very simple and easy to see the brand. The brand lives through a physical space, right?
Yes.
We've got big gondolas, we've got the products up there, there's flyers going out, there may be promoters, you're going to events, you're sponsoring. There's a lot of physical presence around a traditional business in retail.
Yes.
In multi-level marketing, we don't have that type of luxury. Okay?
No, you don't.
What the luxury we do have is the network.
Yes.
So communicating to that network to advertise and promote this business is something like retail doesn't have. But when we are advertising an opportunity and presenting the business as a brand, growing this brand within a space that is not retail, and we want to educate our consumers, it needs to be done through things like digital media.
Absolutely.
Okay? Now, the communication through digital media, like social media channels like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, emails, SMSs, WhatsApps, they are divine strategies that need to be put in place in order for that communication to come through. Now, if you don't have an experience in building marketing strategies, brand building strategies, I'd suggest consulting a professional and just getting guidance on putting a strategy and a plan together.
And there's another thing that just plays into that, okay? Because you need to be vigilant when it comes to your brand. Now, we've got a couple of our clients that don't want to go out there and print their brochures. So what they do is they create a downloadable PDF. So what happens is that the agent downloads the PDF and then they print it out on their R2.50 color printer.
Yeah.
It looks terrible because the thing is run out of the one ink, and there's the black is getting dry and it becomes all stripy. And that becomes the brand that people witness. When they take that out and show people, that becomes your company's brand. And I mean, that's horrible. And in all of our terms and conditions, we say to our clients, listen, you need to specify that nobody can reproduce your stuff. Nobody can use your logos. Nobody can use your brochures. They have to buy the company brochures from the company. And it's not difficult. If you're buying the brochures in bulk, they become very cheap. And to actually ship them to the client, you sell them in batches of 100.
Yeah.
And you don't even need to count them. I mean, people say to me, but I don't want to sit there counting hundreds of brochures. You don't do that. You get a scale. The new scales, you put one brochure on, you say, I've got one brochure there. And then you put a pile on it that tells you, okay, there's 104 there. Okay, I take off 4. Okay, there's 100.
Yeah.
Put it in a pack and send it.
Yeah.
You don't have
Easy.
to count it. You just weigh it.
Yeah.
And then the brand that goes out there is your brand, something you can be proud of. It's properly printed. It's litho printed. The colors are beautifully saturated. The imaging is beautiful.
Yeah.
And so when somebody gets your brochure or your poster or your catalog or whatever, how good that printing is definitely a testimony to how good your brand is.
Yeah.
And if you're letting your guys just print their own stuff, well, then your brand is in the toilet because everybody is seeing that as the brand.
Yeah. If you're promoting a company of excellence, Well, every single aspect of your company needs to be that of excellence.
Yeah.
And you need to control the communication that's going out just by the terms and conditions and actually doing it for the network. Now, a lot of the communication is going to come in, what is my messaging? So you have to come up with a brand Bible, this
Exactly
document that guides all communication within the business.
Exactly.
Now, again, this is something that, if you don't have experience, is done by a professional.
Exactly.
There needs to be, what are my color palettes? What does my logo look like? What is my slogan?
Yes.
There are so many aspects about building this brand Bible and then letting it live within all communication that goes out to customers, your network, or anyone that has to continue to feed through.
Well, I mean, Nanonutrients is a prime example of this. Okay, they're a client of ours. I saw their brand
The style guide.
style guide. That's
yes,
what they call it.
Yes.
I was completely blown away by it.
Brilliant.
I thought, wow, that is epic.
Yeah.
And then you have a look at their starter kit, and their starter kit is just top drawer. It's just so beautiful. Anybody getting that starter kit is going to think this is the most epic company on the planet. Their brochures, their leaflets, their advertising, everything is just top drawer. So when I look at their brand, the immediate impression I'm getting is this is a absolute top-class product.
Right.
Now, we know it is a top-class product,
Yeah.
but even if they put water in the bottles in there, I would still think it's a top-class product until proved wrong.
Yes.
Whereas if you've got crummy packaging and people are using printed brochures, then my default position is this is a piece of rubbish. And now you're having to upsell me to a product that's excellent.
Yeah.
So it makes the whole sales process and the whole marketing process a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, this extends, as you said, to your website, to everything.
Yeah.
Needs to be exceptional.
I like how you brought up Nanonutrients, because their style guide, one of the elements, one of the pages, the dedicated page to this, is the target audience. Who the target audience is? They are a higher LSM. They are ages 35 plus, people that are interested in wellness and a fitter, healthier lifestyle. Now, they defined their target audience. Therefore, they'll know how to communicate to their target audience.
Exactly.
And defining your audience is... Your audience is not everyone in your country. If you think that's your audience, you are completely wrong, and you have no communication guided towards the people that can be part of your business.
Exactly. You can't. How do you define you? If you're everything to everyone,
Yes.
then you're nothing to someone.
Correct.
You just dilute your messaging.
Yeah,
You need to be targeting the person that you're wanting to talk to.
of course. Now, this style guide, I'm bringing it up again because I believe that any business starting out in this space, or any space, if it's multi-level marketing or any other industry, needs to have some sort of brand Bible. It is your guiding tool on everything that your business communicates as a brand. Now, we have another company, I'm not going to mention their name, but they put together a beautiful brand Bible when they came and presented their business. They wanted to become a client of ours, subsequently did, and they presented this epic brand Bible that we actually use as reference, like we're just doing with Nanonutrients.
Yes.
They have a strategy. They have the tools to guide them to implement that strategy in the communication of their brand to their people.
And you just know if we approach anybody who's in their target market with that product, we know that they'll sign. Because it's such a beautiful fit. And their messaging, of course, around it is absolutely beautiful as well. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so that's the brand communication. I mean, we could actually just spend our full hours speaking about the brand and all the elements that we need to create. But let's go into that of the top of the network, the leaders. How does the company communicate with the top leadership?
Well, look, that's key. Because remember, your top leadership, those are that's the goose that lays the golden egg. The top leadership is building your business. They're doing the meetings, and they're doing the training, and they're helping build the entire business. So there's a couple of things you do with your top leadership. First of all, you have them in an inner circle where you get them together. If you're launching new products, you want to make sure that before they launch it, they're sworn to secrecy, but that they get brought in, and you share with them, and you find out what their feedback is on the product, and you show them the love. They're your top leadership. You want to make sure that they're excited about what you're doing. The second thing is that you involve them in the communication. So your top leadership on the big nights, if you're having a national convention or an annual get-together of some sorts,
Yes.
you get them up on stage. Get them to tell their story. How did they join the business? When did they join the business? What were the tough times that they went through? Because if they can get people to relate to them, your business looks more achievable. Here's this guy's epically Mr. Big Person, and this is what he actually did in order to get there. Yeah. And so get them involved in the communication as well. So that whole story is not actually, again, it's a relationship building exercise. The company needs to have that relationship with their top leadership. If they don't, the next shiny object is going to take that leader.
For sure.
And the problem with the leader leaving is he takes his entire network with him because he's built up that loyalty. The relationship is with the leader, not with the company. And so you need to treat those leaders like gold. And unfortunately, some of the best leaders, very difficult to deal with. And so as a company, you've got to understand that some of your leadership is not going to be easy to deal with. And you're going to have to communicate effectively with them and not get completely freaked out and just fire them just because they're irritating you. You know, and I've seen companies do immense damage by not being able to hold their tempers and not being able to communicate well with their client base, with their network.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine that. I think that's why, I've forgotten the name of the book that you suggested.
The Like Switch.
Is going to be so important for people to read and just to understand what drives people, and the 6 primary drivers.
Yeah.
That's how I communicate and speak with my network. I need to understand this is like the relationship love languages. I need to know what drives you.
Exactly right.
And if
that's another book that everybody should read, The 5 Love Languages.
Yeah.
I mean, that book really opens your eyes, because if you know what is driving a person, if you know what it is that actually gets them up in the morning, then it's very easy to actually form a relationship with it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, one of my main drivers is quality time. So giving me a gift is not actually going to do anything for me.
Yeah.
Praising me is just a waste of time. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But spending quality time with me, that is a key driver that ensures that I'm actually feeling warm and fuzzy about you. You know?
Yeah.
And so understanding that book is an excellent book to read, because again, this is all about relationships and communication. And if I know what your key driver is, what your love language is, it's really easy to actually to form a very strong relationship with you. Vice versa.
I'm going to stop sending you all those gifts I've been sending you and saying how amazing you are.
Don't worry, I'm re-gifting them onto other people.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, someone that actually appreciates gifts. Exactly. Richard is just amazing. So there was a topic that I wanted to discuss there with our top leadership, and it's gone. It will come back to me. I know it will. Then let's speak about training.
Yes.
Okay, so we've said this before. We could spend a full day speaking about training your people. Now, the communication needs to be absolutely on point with training your people. And the different channels in which we communicate. Are these seminars? Is it through video content? Is it through emails and SMSs that we are sending out to the network? And what is the frequency of that? There needs to be a strategy built to communication.
No, absolutely. For training, I mean, training is like, it's one of the most important things you do in your business.
Yeah.
If you don't train your people, they will not succeed. Yeah. I mean, you need to understand that the person who joins your network, I mean, we're just digressing here a little bit, but the person who joins your network, they spend 3 years going through nursery school. Okay? So it's probably started around 2 o'clock. 2 years old. Feels like 2 o'clock, but 2 years old. They then go through a period of 3 years with shut up, sit down, face the front, and stop being a nuisance.
Yeah.
Then they go to primary school, and they go through their grades 1 to 7, and it's shut up, face the front, do what you're told.
Yeah.
Then they go through high school, it's the same thing. Now, they say they're trying to give you a broad view of the world. Then they send you to university, and in university, they narrow your thinking down because you specialize. You become an engineer, or you become an accountant, or you become a lawyer, or whatever. You specialize. So your view, which was that broad, now gets narrowed down to this narrow thing, this narrow skill that you're learning. And so they spit you out at the end of university and you get a job. And what does the boss say? Do what I tell you, otherwise I'm going to fire you.
Right, yeah.
So you sit there doing what you're told until such time as you decide, okay, listen, it's time for me to take my life back. And you find this incredible micro business called multi-level marketing and you join the company. But you've spent the last 20 years or 25 years being trained to do what you're told. Now you join the company, and if they don't explain to you what your next step needs to be, what exactly it is that you need to do, and exactly how you need to do it, you're dead in the water, because you spent 20 years being trained to just do what you're told. Now suddenly you're in the space where if you don't become a self-starter, highly motivated, innovative person, you're not going to succeed. And most people just can't make that leap.
Yeah.
So this is why the education and the training is so important. And the training starts with my relationship with you. I bring you on board.
Yeah.
And I take you through the product. Now, what we recommend is that you have a video on every aspect of your business. So you and I sit together, we watch the video. So let's say we watch the video on the products.
Yeah.
Then you ask me questions about the product that you don't understand. So we have a Q&A session, we discuss the product. Then I show you how to demonstrate the product. So we do that together. I demonstrate to you, you demonstrate to me. We do that 10 times. Then we go into the field and I demonstrate it, you watch, and then you demonstrate it and I laugh. I mean,
Yes.
I give you
Maybe the first time.
positive feedback.
Yes, yeah.
But the bottom line is that there's a process. That's training. Because when we finished, and you've done it 2 or 3 times with me there, you can do it 1,000 times. You know how to do it. Same thing with the compensation plan. We watch the video. It explains the compensation plan. You've got a single source of information. So you know that that information is right. We're communicating the right message. We do a Q&A session. Okay? Then we present the opportunity to each other. And then we go out and present it to one of your friends. I do it. Then we do it together. Then you do it. And then you go out and you do it on your own.
Right.
And can you understand that 1,000 people down the line, 500 people wide, doesn't matter where the person is, if we're using the same method, video, Q&A, role play, real world experience, we can repeat and rinse that until the cows come up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you don't have that, it becomes broken telephone.
Right. Right.
And it just keeps on going down. You know, I tell you something, by the time it gets down to the person 300 levels deep, he says, all you do is put 2 drops of this into a thimble, stick it in your left ear, and it cures cancer. I mean, it just becomes ridiculous what people start saying out there. So one of the parts that you're mentioning, which is the messaging, is have a single source of information. And that's one of the reasons that we put the e-learning platform into our system, is because we want to have a place where the people, the company, can put the content so that the network can access it and learn from a single point, a single source of information, and well-communicated information,
Right.
well-crafted, etc.
There's a golden thread, the common concept that's coming through here, and it is that of controlling communication.
Yes.
And through the ultimate control is through video content.
Yes.
It's a rinse and repeat, and you know
Exactly
how when recruiting, how to teach them.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Let's go into that of, you mentioned it earlier, and now we can dive into it, is that of incentives.
Well, this is where automated communication comes in.
Yes.
And this is for me, this is one of the fun elements of it, because it can be extremely exhausting to continually come up with content to communicate with your team.
Right.
Okay. We must get to newsletters and things, blogs, newsletters just now, but let's just talk about the incentives. So what I like to do with incentives is I like to communicate on a weekly basis and tell the person where they are in the overall scheme of things.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say we got 10 people, okay, and the incentives. Now, if I'm in the incentive, I want to know what position I'm in.
Yeah.
So let's say I'm in position number 10. Okay, what we want to communicate with the person in position 10 is that, listen, the person in position 11 is only 5 points away from knocking you out of the competition. Because we want to create that sense of, the avoid a loss scenario.
Yes.
Okay, people will fight much harder for something they own than for something they don't own.
Yes, it's the FOMO.
Yes, fear of missing out. Okay, yeah, 100%. Now, the person in position 11, surely what we want to say to them is that, listen, you only need 5 points to come with us to Mauritius or to Hawaii. I mean, that's obvious. And you can automate that process. You can say to the person, I mean, in incentives, what we try and do is we say that we have different prizes all the way down. First prize, you're flying business class, you're staying in the executive suites, we're going to give you $1,000 spending money. Position 10, we're strapping you to the wing. When you get there, you're in a tent on the beach. And if you want to go to the toilet, here's a shovel.
Yeah.
Okay, so the experience between number 1 and number 10 is different.
Yes.
Now, the person in the 9th position gets told, listen, you only need 20 points to sit in the front of the plane. The person in position 1, you only need to be careful because Stuart is going to knock you out. He only needs 20 points.
Yeah, sure.
So what you do is you continue to drive the winners, but you automate it. So you set that up before the whole competition starts. You provide them reporting. That's another form of communication we're going to discuss. But you provide them reporting so they can see where they are, but you tell them on a weekly basis where they are and how close they are to losing the position they've gained, or how close they are to gaining a position that will be favorable. So that becomes a very powerful. And that automated so incentives is a good place, but also for recognition. I recruit you. What happens is you get an SMS, welcome to the team. Or you get a WhatsApp, welcome to the team. Okay?
Nice.
So you get the company communicates welcome. But what's much more important here is that I, who recruited you, get a SMS saying, well done for recruiting Stuart. Now, my upline gets an SMS, says, you're not going to believe it, Richard just recruited Stuart. Why don't you call Stuart and welcome him to the team?
Right.
And call Richard and congratulate him.
Yep.
So you now get a communication from the from the upline.
Yeah.
Hey, Stuart, it's John, your upline.
Yeah.
So excited to have you on board. It's really wonderful. Please let me know. Here's my number. If you need any help, I'm here for you. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel amazing. I feel welcome to the family, and I'm part of this. And I'm actually inspired and motivated to start going out and selling.
Because somebody just phoned you.
Yeah.
I get a phone call. Hey, Richard, you're not going to believe this. I'm so excited about it. I see you've recruited Stuart.
Yeah.
Just remember, I'm here for you. I can help you wherever you.
Yeah.
Now, you can continue that up. So you can tell John's upline,
Yeah.
hey, listen, you're not going to believe this. John's guy, Richard, just recruited Stuart.
Yeah.
And why don't you give Stuart a ring to welcome him to the team? And then I suggest you give Richard a ring to tell him well done.
Yeah.
And just, by the way, just quickly call John and mention that you're excited about his team growing.
Yeah.
So you get another call. Hey, it's whatever. I've learned from you.
Yes.
If you need any help, here's my number.
Yeah.
So do you see that communication is all automated?
Yeah.
How much did it cost the company?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
whatever the SMS or the...
A few cents.
Yeah. Sure.
For the SMSs.
Yeah.
And now you've created this entire flurry of communication.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a whole love fest going on here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah,
sir.
A lot of the companies, so we've joined a whole bunch of MLM companies to understand what they're doing, so we can actually talk with authority, and I mean, we don't see that. We don't see that being done.
We've joined
a lot.
not just a lot of companies. We've joined the biggest companies in the world.
Yeah.
You know, companies are doing like billions in turnover,
Yeah.
and their communication has been pathetic.
It's been poor.
You know, somebody signs you up, you get a welcome email, and that's it. Nobody else contacts you. No upline gets hold of you. No other messaging comes through. Nothing. It's like this void, this vacuum.
Yeah.
And so now you're in the business and nobody's talking to you. And what happens? You get disillusioned, you get demotivated, you get demoralized, you don't know what to do next, and you're gone.
Yeah. I knew it was powerful, but up until right now, I didn't know how powerful this feature was within the Netready system. When someone joins the business, I feel so welcome. I'm motivated. I'm excited. I can see that I've got support up the line, and I want to go out and start selling.
Well, what's more exciting is that my upline just got an SMS
Yeah.
to say somebody else joined his business. How is he feeling?
Yeah. He's on
Now,
top of the world. He's getting
When, we had,
commissions.
when I was running Acorn Kids, we got every single one of our agents to download, you know, that old cash register sound? The
Yes,
ka-ching?
cha-ching, yeah.
And if a SMS came in from our SMS number,
Yeah,
then it wouldn't give them their normal SMS signal. It would
Yes.
say, ka-ching. So,
very nice.
so every time somebody signed up,
Yeah,
they would get ka-ching,
yeah.
and they would look on, congratulations, Stuart just joined your team.
Oh.
This is his number, give him
Yeah.
a call.
Yeah. Wow.
Check your reports to see who else got involved. He might get 2 or 3 because obviously you joined, somebody else joins. So he could, in a day, he could get 10 ka-chings. Can I tell you something? That very few people turned that off.
Yeah. I'm
Because we had a
sure.
facility to
I'm
turn it
sure.
off. The guys didn't get sick and tired of hearing that ka-ching, I want to tell you. The more they heard it, the better. I remember sitting in the presentation and my phone was on the table and I was talking to the guy to bring him in. And my phone went ka-ching. So I showed the guy I'm recruiting. I said, check this.
Yeah.
Another person just joined your team. Congratulations. I said, I'll give him a call just now. Put the phone down. I didn't put it down 2 seconds. Ka-ching. I said, check this out. Another person just joined my team. Anyway, we get to the end of the presentation. That thing ka-chinged about 10 times. And then I said, okay, how would you like to sign up? He said he'd love to sign up. So we signed him up. And he just finished paying and my phone went ka-ching. I said, check this out. Somebody just joined my team. I'd like
Amazing.
to welcome you.
Yeah.
And I said, welcome to
Thank
the
you
team.
so much.
and that was a real reminder to him that this business was being successful.
Yeah.
So you can see how important that kind of automated
Yeah.
communication is.
Yeah.
And too few companies focus on every aspect of the communication.
Yeah.
They're so busy just trying to sign up people that they don't motivate their people through those kind of automated processes.
Yeah. If I'm doing a like for like on 2 cosmetic companies, MLM companies, how do we stand out? We stand out through things like communication. And that is a key aspect. This upline communication, when someone joins a team, welcome into the team. It's a USP. It's a unique selling point to the business to get in and feel part of the family.
Exactly.
Do things that other
You're building
companies
a
aren't
relationship. Back to what we said right at the beginning. You want to build a relationship with this person.
doing. Yeah. Let's talk about reporting.
Yes.
Okay. So reporting in the system, being able to report on data in the business, and.
Critical. Absolutely critical. Yeah. So when I'm running a team, one of the things I want to know is how my people are doing. So I want to be able to go to the downline report. I want to be able to click on the little cog, and I want all the information pertaining to my people to be able to be readily available. So when I phone you up, I say, hey, Stuart, listen, I just see that you haven't done your minimum volume of this month. How can I help you to achieve that?
Right.
What can I do? Can we go out? Can we do some demonstrations? Let's set up some appointments. Now, I need to know where you're at. So when I phone you, I'm talking to you about where you're at. I know what volumes you've done. I know what's bugging you. I can ask you, listen, is there anything I can help you with? Can we get together for some training? You haven't signed up anybody in months. I know exactly where you're at. So the reporting becomes critical for me as a leader to communicate effectively with you.
Yeah.
If I know what's going on in your life, you kind of, it helps tremendously for us to build a relationship.
Sure.
So we look at reporting as a key element in terms of communication.
Yeah.
Knowing where you are. If you recognize getting a little badge on your system. So when you look at it, you see your little badge. When I look at it, I see you being recognized.
Yes.
And I can phone you up and say, hey, well done.
Yeah.
I see you got the pace setter badge.
Yes.
Or I see you got the star salesperson badge.
Yes.
Or whatever. I can congratulate you and I can communicate with you and again build relationships. So the reporting is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
You know, who's in my downline?
Right.
What are they doing? Who's being recognized? Who's achieving status in the incentives?
Yeah.
Who's inactive?
Right.
Who needs help?
Yeah.
You know, and then I can go out and I can actually provide that help and support, etc.
Right.
So yeah, I know reporting absolutely key.
Reporting is education. You're educating yourselves through seeing the data. And now one of the aspects of reporting is also that of the commission. So your network needs to be able to see how they've earned, what they've earned, and who they've earned it from. So that they are able to do an audit themselves if they think that the commissions payable to them is inaccurate. But once the data is shown, they're not going to approach the company and say, hold on, my commissions being paid out are incorrect. So you're actually streamlining the process through reporting and the communication.
Exactly. And look, one of the things here, just talking about that specific issue, if you don't have really good reports, I mean excellent reports that the person can go into and actually audit their commissions, what happens is the noise in the company is huge. Because the guys will phone you up and say, I don't think my commissions are right.
Yeah.
Now, when we started Acorn Kids, we didn't have great reporting in that point, and we were forever auditing people's commissions because they didn't believe the numbers. Then what we did is we built a whole series of reports that allowed them to go through and audit their commissions. And so they would phone me up and say, I don't think my commission's right. And I would say to them, that's fantastic. We will audit it. Go to the system. It costs you 500 rands. Buy a 500 rand audit and we'll audit it.
Yeah.
If our commissions are correct, then we keep the 500 rands. If there's a mistake, we'll refund you.
Nice.
How many audits do you think we did after that?
Not many.
0.
Yeah.
The guys went out there and they did their own audits. They worked out that the commissions were right because the commissions were always right.
Yeah.
There was always a reason why they weren't getting paid something. They hadn't achieved minimum volume, or one of their guys hadn't achieved minimum volume, or they'd returned an order 3 minutes before midnight and suddenly that volume that they thought was there was gone. There was always a reason. It was always right. And once I could charge them because they could audit it themselves, they went and audited themselves and all of the noise disappeared from my life.
Yeah. Wow.
So critically important. Commission reports, they are a lifesaver, believe me.
Yeah.
You got 100,000 people all phoning you up to find out whether their commissions are right. You're dead in the water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really problematic.
Oh, I mean, month end is stressful enough. You have 100,000 people calling you.
Imagine if you're paying weekly.
Oh, my goodness. You spend most of it, you can't work on your
No,
business.
it's not.
Yeah.
So that's why it becomes critically important. So it's all part of your communication.
The last thing I want to speak about here on the topics is blogs and newsletters. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick dive into that.
Okay, so newsletters are critically important because what you want to do there in a newsletter, you want to recognize the top performers. You want to announce activities, and for example, you might have done a Habitat for Humanity build.
Sure.
Or somebody in your team, some key person had a baby.
Yes.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, one of the staff members at head office did something exceptional. That all becomes part of that newsletter.
Okay.
And it's something that, if you do it well, it's something that everybody looks forward to every month. They see their name up in lights. To a large extent, if their leadership is recognized, they take ownership of that. It's a little bit like if their leader walks up onto the stage and does a speech, the people in their team take ownership of that. And as that leader walks onto the stage, you hear that segment of the room, because they all sit together, going completely ballistic because they own that leadership.
Yeah.
They love that person. I mean, the top leaders are all absolutely adored.
Yeah.
So if you can put that, highlight the leader and his incredible team in your newsletters, that creates a lot of warmth and a lot of positive affection. So newsletters are absolutely epic. And then blogging is also amazingly important because you can blog about strategies and techniques. You can blog about how to highlight certain parts of the product or successes that people have had by doing certain things. There's 1,001 things you can blog about, and those things become quite well subscribed to. And the other thing in that same space is forums, is to have a moderated forum. Eh?
Sure.
You mustn't have an unmoderated forum. So normally the way you do with forums is that I make a post on the forum. If I look at the forum, I see the post as if it was posted.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so I don't know that it's not posted. The moderator then goes through that and then decides whether that post is valid or not.
Yes.
If it's valid, posts it. Say, okay, we accept this post, and it then becomes widely available. The person who made the post doesn't know when that happens. They think that their post is just live. And the reason you do that is because you can have somebody who's disgruntled who now comes and spews poison.
Of course.
We had an example of this. Right, now understand, Acorn Kids is a children's We had one disgruntled man, who went and posted a whole lot of pornographic pictures on the forum in the Acorn Kids website. And at that point, we realized that it was essential to have. I mean, you can imagine the ructions that caused. You know, we laid charges against him because it was a child site, and I mean, it was a mess.
Yeah.
But after that, we moderated every single post.
Yeah.
You check what's going on, you check what people are doing, check what they're saying, make sure that what is going out, the messaging is positive. Yeah.
Again, it's this controlling the communication. Don't leave it in the hands of people that are less in the know.
Or disgruntled.
Or
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is, so we speak about the control. There's three key aspects here. There's control of the communication, and this is we're coming to land here. Managing expectations through communication, and automation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the things we didn't actually get into was that of email and SMS campaigns. We can actually automate the communication that goes out. We set up the emails and SMSs to go out at specific times. We schedule them to go out. So when someone joins the business, they get a successful member registration, which is sent to them 5 seconds after they've registered.
Yeah.
Also,
Or immediately.
Yeah. We'll also then send out an SMS through the upline campaign that says, Richard,
Just
congrats.
joined your team. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everything can be automated to make your life simple, easy, and seamless, so that you can just be working on the business.
Well, I think a couple of weeks ago we did a whole session, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did a whole session about automating your business.
Right.
And automating your communications is a big part of that. Because if somebody joins, welcome to the team. If they sign up somebody, tell the upline. Those are all automated communications. Somebody gets recognized for something automated. If somebody moves a position in the incentive, you send out a communication. When somebody orders a product, now you can also create campaigns that are automated. If the person orders this product and a week later hasn't ordered that product, send them an email and a coupon saying, hey, listen, we see you ordered the coffee making machine. We're just wanting to let you know that we have this specific coffee on special today, and here's a coupon. You get 10% off. Why don't you give it a try? You only send it to them if they didn't buy the coffee.
Yeah.
But you know that because you have the data.
Right.
And so you can automate your sales processes. You can automate your training processes. I mean, another prime example is we have the pledge. Okay? So you rate me, somebody else rates me, another person rates me. I get badly rated. I'm under 3.
Yeah, 3 or 5 stars.
I get an email saying, hey, listen, I see you struggling. You've got a 3-star rating at the moment. We'd love to help you. Please click on this link and attend our reboot training course. Now, we suspend his commissions in the meantime because he's obviously doing something wrong. Goes and does the reboot training course. Passes the exam, all automated. If he passes, we reactivate him. Well done for passing the exam.
Yes.
Please contact us. That entire process is automated.
Yeah.
You don't have to be involved in any of that communication physically. Now, we've got clients who are running incentives and running all of this stuff and trying to send this information out manually. And so the IT guys quickly pull a report for them, and then they suck the report. They suck all those people into MailChimp, and then they write an email in MailChimp, and then they send it out.
Yeah.
And next week they got to repeat and rinse, and they just don't do it because it's just too onerous.
Yeah.
And so that's where the automated processes come in with your communication. Critically important.
Yeah. Okay. Control, manage expectations, and automation.
Yeah.
Key aspects out of this. Yeah. Richard?
That was fun,
This is the start to a beautiful day.
Exactly.
And we did it together.
Thank you very much.
I think that rhymed.
I'm not sure how long that was, but that seemed a bit longer than normal.
Yeah, but I think we did well. And guys, everyone out there that's listening, if we did go over time a bit, sorry about that, but we hope that we created some awesome content that was very valuable to you running your business. Communication is paramount when speaking to your network, communicating your brand.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Richard, thank you so much for your time.
Stuart,
Let me close off. Sorry, Our social media channels. Please follow us on Facebook if you haven't yet. It's Netready. We've also got our LinkedIn page. It's Netready MLM Software. We've also got our YouTube channel, which is Netready. Subscribe and hit that bell to receive notifications on new uploads to our platform. We've also got our Spotify channel, which we'd love for you to listen to when you're sitting in the car, nothing else to do, sitting in boring traffic, and you can listen to it to a nice speaker. I mean, how cool would that be?
I love it. What can I say? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Thanks, Richard.
Sure.
All right, you too.